I'm Sandra Pelly, the Sandini, and I'm going to talk about inner child or little you. And it's really interesting hearing that comment because I know that inner child and little you, when you hear those two words, it's very confusing because you almost think that they are two separate parts of you, when in reality, they are truly one and the same. Inner child, little you. For all intents and purposes, from this moment on, personally, I'm going to say little you, just because it feels more comfortable speaking about the little you than the inner child. The little you and the inner child are truly both the same. The little you is dramatically affected by things that happen to us as a child. And those things that happen to us as a child can be anything. They affect us very much so still as an adult. What is going on there? You might ask. How can something that happened to us as a child affect us as an adult? Well, the thing is right now our minds are developed, and our minds are developed in some cases for the better and in some cases for the worse. Child, and we have things occur with us. We are looking at it from a child's perspective, and as a child, we are so innocent. We're truly we are, and it shatters our world in some cases when we are, okay, bear with me here. My mind's going in 100 different places. So how about I just take a breath and ask you all to do the brain slide with me, okay? So feeling into the energy of that little you on the top of your head. Imagine yourself there. Imagine what you look like with clothing you're even wearing. It could even be a picture of yourself as a child you're imagining on the top of your head. So just imagine that small version of yourself is on the top of your head. Create this beautiful slide going down into your heart space, and take a breath. Beautiful. And now have that little you slide down that slide and feel the woo wee yabba dabba doo as you slide down, down, down into your heart. Take another breath. Feel the joy your little you has. Beautiful. And let's have that little you run up and do that one more time. And this time you're going to go with them. So imagine that slide going down to your heart space. And if you're going to go first or second after your little you, or if you're going to have your little you sitting on your lap, and just feel the energy of doing something with your little you, and hop on that slide and go down it and feel the woohoo wee. Beautiful as you slide into your heart space. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I personally feel a lot better now. I feel more connected. And I think that's what's really important, is to really understand how absolutely connected we truly are with our little you. They started to say, our little you looks at the world from a very innocent point of view. When we're born, the world is this incredible, wonderful place. And it's only as we get older and age that things start to occur to us, shatter that innocence, that create these little pockets of energy that are stuck. And as we go into adulthood, little you is stuck in that little spot. And when we're stuck in that little spot, we continue to have the same broken innocence feelings around that stagnant energy. We take it into adulthood. And when we take it into adulthood, it tends to affect our lives in a number of different ways. Now, there's so many different things that can happen to us as a child that we would really don't even begin to understand how they're affecting us today as an adult. They can affect us in our relationships, can affect us in our sense of worth, can affect us in our relationship to finances, money, shelter, all different kinds of things. Even with our pets, our relationships with our pets. That's why in Empowering the Healer Within, I really uh, begin with that self-love. And that is one of the things that really helps us to start to heal ourselves. I'd love for you to breathe your way through this mantra, if you don't mind, please. So, I am love. I am loved. I am loving. I am lovable. I love me. I am divine love. Beautiful. So one of the things, other thing that I really like to promote is the I am open mantra. And that's because when we step into a place of being open, then when things that trigger us come up, we can more easily look into where our expectations are around that and begin to figure out how to let go of those expectations and have no limitations, be okay with the outcome. I'm going to have you breathe your way through that as well, if you don't mind, please. I am open with no expectations, no limitations, and being okay with the outcome. And I would like for you just to go with the flow of that for now. I understand that being okay with the outcome is a really hard concept to understand. And really, truly, when you begin to understand where your expectations are around things, that is when you start to understand about limitations and being okay with the outcome. So we're just going to ride the wave on that right now. I'm also going to ask you to step into allowing and letting your mind, body, and soul do whatever healing it wants to do. So feel into the energy of that little you. And I had mentioned at the beginning here, it's about that innocence being broken and shattered. I've had clients who have wide range of different things occur in their childhood, and it's amazing how it affects adulthood. And is there a meditation that can heal every single one of those all at once? Um, I think honestly, you are going to continue to have different events come up in your life or different things happen to you that are triggering. Where am I going with this? They're triggering something within you. They're triggering an emotion, a feeling, anger, grief, sadness, impotency, futility, frustration, whatever these different emotions are that come up. When that happens, um, looking deeper within ourselves to see where we are doing this to ourselves. So, for instance, there was a woman that I worked with who was having a really poor relationship with male energy in her life, the masculine, not the personal masculine energy, but with males in her life. So, whether it was brothers, husbands, bosses, whatever that relationship was. And when we did some work around going back into the energies, and as I work with the energies, that's how I talk about it. When we go back in time and look at where something occurred in her life, it was really beautiful to see that moment of realization happen. And for her, what happened was that she was running and playing in her house as a child, and she ran behind the couch, and there was clothing hung over the back and a coat hanger was hung over the back, and it actually caught her in the face or caught her in the eye or something like that, and she was crying and she was upset and she was injured. And the male figure, her dad, literally just sat in the chair and paid no attention to her whatsoever, didn't ask her if she was okay, didn't get up to help her, literally just let her fend for herself. And from that moment on, she felt so unworthy of getting anybody to pay attention to her, having lost that safety net of having somebody respond when she was in a state of need. And the list goes on and on to how this kind of affects that whole whole big area. And through her entire life, it changed all of her relationships with male figures because she no longer felt confident in herself and knowing that these male figures would be there for her, right? And also, she felt unworthy of their being there for her, of them being there to see her. So it was really intriguing seeing how that unwrapped. And what I do in the energy is, if you're working one on one with me, we go back and we rewrite the energy pattern of that. And we do a healing around that so that you can move forward in a much better state. These triggers may come up again. However, you make a point of recognizing that that's what they are, that there's a trigger around this, that you've done the work around that specific event. Now, is that around that same event? And if so, you know that you can move forward from there. If it's around a different event, then you work with that event. And whatever comes up, whatever triggers are coming up, there's a reason why that trigger is coming up specifically and that emotion is coming up specifically. And if you're having dreams, if you're having memories of the same event that keeps happening, you had happen when you were a child, it's because there's a healing that needs to be done around it. There's some work that needs to be done around it. So when we talk about little you work or inner child work, that's what we're talking about. And truly, it's really magical watching what happens when we go back and rewrite the energy pattern of it. And because I go in 3 times. So we go in and we change how that event happened, the energy of it, because everything is energy. So if I hit the wood right here, right now, and I hurt my knuckles, and later today I was thinking, oh my gosh, my knuckles hurt. I could actually go back in the energy and feel into not having hit the table as hard, and then feel into the energy of not having hit the table at all would be the next one, and then feel into the energy of just laying my hand on the table the third time I go in. So I deal with the past, present, and future with each of these events. And my hand would no longer hurt because it truly is that simple when we go back and rewrite energies of things. It's incredible, absolutely amazing what happens. So what I'd like to do today is I've talked a little bit about how we can heal some of the things that happen when we're little children, how we can go and heal some of those things. Do know that there is a process I've heard of just recently, and I feel the power of this. It's so incredible. Marilyn Aloria was speaking of this the other day. My hands are on fire as I'm talking about this too. So when you know that you have healed a number or gone back and facilitated the healing of a number of events as a child, at that time, then you can actually go and do a process where you're bringing all those pieces together and combining them all at once and having a meditation where you're bringing all of those pieces together. So what I'd like to do today with you is create a meditation that's going to bring some of the pieces that you are aware of that you've worked with already with your little you or inner child, and those you are aware of, as well as those pieces of you that are out there that are already in a place of being ready to come back to you without you having to do any further work to them. First of all, I'm going to draw a card around this energy of the little you, and then we will do this meditation that will bring these pieces back in a closer form to yourself and reconnect in more firmly. So the card that I'm going to be talking about first off is the Courageous Peony. I love that. It's multifaceted, a unique nature, and let yourself be seen. How profound a card is that? The little you, the work that we do with the little you, is truly the basis for how we start to be seen moving forward. Multifaceted. There's so many different parts of us that are affected by something that happened to us as a child. So there's that multifaceted and that unique nature. Every single one of us, although I can say that there's a good chance that many of us, especially in North America, have been affected by something that happened to us as a child. Your situation, you personally, is unique for you, and how you moved forward from it is unique to you. So there's that beautiful, unique nature. So having the courageous peony. And you know what a peony is? A peony is this beautiful flower that grows. And uh, it actually, it's so comical that I speak about a peony because we had a peony I had given my daughter as a young girl, and it really hardly even grew at this one house that we were at. And then when we moved it with us because I figured, well, it's not going to live there. It's not doing a whole lot there. So let's move it to this new place. And in this new place, it absolutely flourished. So that's what happens with the little U work. We absolutely flourish once we start to actually recognize those points in our childhood that are affecting us to this day. Okay. And we go back and heal the energy around them and bring that back. So if you guys don't mind, what I'm going to do is I am going to do a meditation that is going to help you to bring some of these pieces together. And if some of you are interested in working one-on-one with little U work, I am definitely open to that. I definitely have some time in my calendar. I guess that's what I want to say. So let's take a breath and close your eyes. Feel into the energy again of that little U on the top of your head. I could feel some of your stomachs reacting already. Very interesting. So feel into the energy of this beautiful slide coming down into your heart space. Take a breath. I can even feel it in the throat. So take a moment to step into the excitement of this, healing aspects of this, and feel that balm, B-A-L-M, flowing over and through all the parts of you right now. And have that little U slide down the slide. Woohoo! Mine got so caught up in the balm that she forgot about the making noise, and then all of a sudden she remembered and she was like, woohoo! So feeling the energy of sliding into that beautiful heart space. And as you're standing as that little U in your heart space, feel the energy of the love that's coming from within yourself for you. And whether you truly believe that or not, step into the acceptance of being able and ready to accept whatever portion of that love that is able to come through to you right now. And feel how it grows within you. Feel this beautiful energy, like this soft, warm blanket. And it's so interesting because I can feel the color of this blanket. I can feel the texture of this blanket. I can even see what the mine is just this beautiful white, fluffy type of blanket. It just so feels so comforting. So wrap yourself in whatever your blanket looks like and just feel into the energy of the colors of your blanket. And the texture, what does it look like? Is it soft? Is it thin? Is it heavier? Feel into the energy of that beautiful blanket that you're just curled up with right now. Beautiful. And as you are there, in front of you is this beautiful fire, and it's burning. And of course, being a little child, you've got a stick and you get to play with this fire because this fire is the fire of love, and it is comforting, healing, and it's got this beautiful violet flame to it. It is beckoning you to feel into the energy of that with that stick or whatever you're poking the fire with. Feel into the energy of that for a moment. The magic of the flame. Is it a single flame? Is it many flames? How wide is it? Is it just in a small cup in front of you? Or is it like log fire that you do when you're out camping? Just feel into the energy of whatever that fire looks like in front of you. Take a breath into that. Beautiful. And now, as you're sitting there, what I'd love for you to do is to just listen to my words and know that the actions are occurring as we are being heard. Feeling into the energy of allowing your mind, body, and soul to do whatever it needs to do to heal at this time for the highest good and for the most benevolent reasons. And we're inviting all those portions of our little you that have been misunderstood, hurt, unheard, and whatever other emotions or words you'd like to use or that you feel comfortable using, or whatever words that are popping in. We're going to invite all of those little you portions of yourself to join you around this violet flame fire. Whether you feel one more joining you, or whether you feel as though you have so many, it almost feels like it's like, holy cow, this is like stunning how many there is. Just allow all of that energy to come and join you, knowing that there is a reason for that it to be singular, duals, couples, or if it's many, many. Just allowing the energy of that to be whatever it is, being open with no expectations, no limitations, and being okay with that outcome. And just allowing and accepting, trusting and believing all of those parts of you, those little yous, have joined you. And feel how you have either shared that stick or they each have their own stick that they're playing with in the fire. And feel the joy of how each of you are feeling into that. I know for myself, I just had this complete visual of a photo of when I was a child pop into my mind. Just feel into the energy of that and go with that. And I'll speak a little bit about the picture that I saw. I know that I was one of maybe two children in this area of this photo, and that for the most part, it was a lot of adults. And I was unable, I was playing with a stick in the fire. And I believe probably my mom said something about me stopping to do that. I was no longer allowed to do that. I believe that some of the men in the room beckoned her to allow me to do that. I got very mixed signals at that moment. So just feeling into the energy of mixed signals as well. And be a viewer of this. Get from looking at this as though you're looking in at this, just like I saw this photo of myself as a child. It's so interesting. It's very, very marked in my mind here. Just feeling whatever memory is coming up for you. And now feel into the energy of that memory and going back in that memory, that moment, and feel how it has slightly changed for the better. The words were unsaid or the action was undone that felt like it was hindering you. Take a breath into that. Beautiful. And now take another look at that photo and feel how the joy of that photo or that image, that memory in your mind has changed for the better. And go back into that moment again and feel the freedom to continue doing whatever it was that you were doing. And when you feel the freedom of that, what does that bring up in your heart? What does that bring up in your body? What feeling does that bring up in you? Feel that on your face. Beautiful. And now go back into that moment, that vision, that image for the third time, and feel how there is just complete joy in there. It's so interesting because I feel like there's butterflies happening or something. Like it's just this magical moment. Everything just feels so much brighter. Beautiful. Feel into the energy of that for a moment. And feel into the energy of how that little you is feeling right now. And allow that energy to soak into who you are, the essence of who you are. Feel how it is, it's almost like a data input and how it's changing the course for you moving forward. Take a breath into that. And bring your awareness back to that first little you that was sitting at the fire, poking the stick. And whether you have many little yous or just another little you around the fire or a couple more, feeling into the energy of that. Now invite all of the little yous who are ready to come back with you, all those parts of you that are ready to come back to you. Feel how they are getting up and coming and literally immersing themselves into your energy for the highest good and for the most benevolent reasons. Feel how they're coming together with you. Feel into the joy of that, the comfort of that. And now feel how you feel as that little you there in front of that beautiful violet flame, the beautiful fire that's in front of you. Has that flame changed? Has it grown? Has it shrunk? Where does it feel on the grand scale of things? How does it feel to you? Feel into the energy of that beautiful flame. Knowing that whatever it is looking like now, you have facilitated a beautiful healing within yourself around your little you at this time. Thank your little you. Ask your little you if they'd like to continue to play there, feeling confident that they are in such a beautiful sacred space and that they are okay, that your little you is okay. And if your little you would like to join you instead, then feel the energy of holding that little you. And your little you may be asking you to do one thing today to help to bring that bond of the two of you closer together. Feel into the energy of that. I know for some of us, what they're asking may be a little beyond what we're able to provide right now, given the circumstances of the world right now. Just make a pact to write down what they've requested to do with you so that you have this beautiful list started of things that you are going to do with your little you in the future. I know for me, mine was to buy an orange popsicle. I absolutely loved orange popsicles as a child. Freezies didn't cut it. It was an orange popsicle. The ability to go run out to a store to purchase an orange popsicle right now um, is probably a poor idea. So I'm going to put that on my list of things to do so that when I do go to the grocery store, I do pick up one of those. Take a breath into that. And so it is. Beautiful. Thank you so much for taking part of that. Very, very powerful exercise because it's little you work. Little you is exciting work. It really is. May feel like it's really scary and terrifying, but it is only because of how we're looking at it from our child's perspective still. Okay. When we're looking back from an adult point of view, it's totally different. So just taking a step back from that energy of fear that of the child and looking at it from an adult point of view, because some of these things that are affecting us, others may tell us we're acting irrationally. Well, it's not irrational to us because it's something to happen to us as a child. So, you know what? That little you was shut down at some point when you were a child with regards to this beautiful spiritual path that we're on. What's so profound about the energy that's going on in the world right now is that we are in, for many of us, totally different environments, meaning that our lives have been upheaved. And because they've been upheaved, I know I've literally watched my son and my daughter and many people that I know have literally gone and done so much cleaning in their houses. That's one of the things that's happened that's really huge. In that cleaning of things in our personal homes and spaces, we are freeing up energy. And in the freeing up of that energy, other things are happening. Even myself, I cleaned my travel trailer. Even though I was still living in it, I cleaned my travel trailer. And it actually helped me to move further on my own journey. And there's a reason why I was talking about the energies of things. Oh, yes. So for myself, I've had this memory triggered. I even went so far as to tell my husband I couldn't watch this movie on Netflix because of the memory that it triggered. It was a memory of a minor and what was happening to this minor at the time. And it was at that moment I realized that that was the moment that I shut down my spiritual gifts, because it wasn't a TV show that I had been watching as a child. What it was that I had uh, connected into the energy of this minor, and I apologize if this bothers anyone, but I'm telling you this for the sake of your understanding. Uh, he was literally being crushed to death in this mine that had collapsed. And I saw him, his helmet, his hard hat was red. I could see his face, his beard. I could see how the blackness of his face and hands, and he was being crushed to death. And it was at that moment I literally shut down my gifts. And it took me until it was probably late 60s that happened, 1960s that happened. And it took me until the 2000s, 40 years to tap back into these gifts. So that's how important this little you work is. Okay. And that is discovering that moment where we actually were so tapped in. And when we find that moment that we were so tapped in and it was shut down, either hugely or in a small way, but affected us dramatically. That's the power of doing this little you work. This is an incredible call today. I'm loving the energy. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here.